When my sister left, she didn't say goodbye. One morning, she was there. The next morning, she was gone. No note, no phone call, no explanation. For years, I told myself I didn't care. I told myself she had chosen to leave us behind. But every birthday, every Christmas, every family dinner, I noticed the empty chair. And every time I saw it, the same question returned. Why? My name is Sarah, and for 15 years, nobody gave me an answer. Emily was 3 years older than me. Growing up, we were inseparable. We shared a bedroom, secrets, and dreams about the future. She was more than my sister. She was my best friend. Then one day she disappeared. My mother cried for months. My father barely spoke about it. Whenever I mentioned Emily's name, the room became uncomfortable. At first I was angry. How could she leave without saying goodbye? As the years passed, the anger faded, but the mystery remained. Sometimes I caught my mother staring out the kitchen window. I knew she was thinking about Emily. "Do you think she's okay?" I asked her once. My mother looked away. "I hope so," she whispered. Something about her answer never felt right. It felt like she knew something she wasn't telling me. Then 15 years passed. I got married, had children, built a life of my own. And then, on a rainy afternoon, I found a letter in my mailbox. The handwriting looked familiar. My hands started shaking. It was from Emily. After 15 years of silence, my sister had finally written to me. I opened the envelope carefully. The first sentence made my heart stop. "Sarah, I never left because I wanted to." I read those words again and again. Because for 15 years I had believed one story, and suddenly I realized it might not be true. Someone had hidden the truth, and I was finally about to find out who. I couldn't stop reading. Every sentence in Emily's letter revealed a life I knew nothing about. 15 years earlier, when she was 23, she became pregnant. The man she loved left as soon as he heard the news. Scared and alone, she turned to our family. She thought we would support her. Instead, everything changed. According to her letter, our father was worried about what people would think. He feared gossip. He feared embarrassment. And in a moment that changed all our lives, he told her to leave. Emily begged him to reconsider. She begged him to let her stay. But he refused. A few days later, she packed her things and walked away. Not because she wanted to, because she felt she had nowhere else to go. As painful as that was to read, the biggest shock was still waiting. Near the end of the letter, Emily wrote something that made me freeze. I wasn't alone when I left. I stared at those words. Then I read the next sentence. Months later, she gave birth to a baby girl, my niece. For 15 years, I had a niece I never knew existed. I sat at my kitchen table crying. The sister I thought had abandoned us had actually been pushed away. That evening, I drove straight to my parents' house. I placed the letter in front of my father. The moment he saw Emily's handwriting, his face changed. For a long time, nobody spoke. Then he lowered his head and quietly said the words I never expected to hear. "Emily didn't leave us, Sarah. I made her go." The room fell silent. But what I didn't know was that a month later, I would meet someone who would change my life forever, someone I should have known all along. After my father confessed the truth, everything felt different. For 15 years, I had blamed the wrong person. My father admitted that fear had guided his decision. Fear of judgment, fear of gossip, fear of what others might think. But that fear had cost him his daughter. My mother sat quietly beside him. Tears filled her eyes. "I wanted her to stay," she whispered. But I couldn't change his mind. For the first time in 15 years, the mystery was finally over. But now another question remained. Could our family ever heal? A month later, I got my answer. I met Emily. As I walked toward her, my heart was racing. 15 years is a long time. People change. Lives change. But the moment we saw each other, none of that mattered. We hugged and cried. No blame. No anger. Just two sisters who had lost too many years. Then she introduced me to her daughter. My niece, the young woman I never knew existed. Looking at her felt like finding a missing piece of my own life. We spent hours talking, sharing memories, laughing through tears. There was sadness for everything we had missed. Birthdays, holidays, ordinary moments that never came back. But there was also hope, because we were together again. Over time, my father apologized. Again and again, and Emily chose to forgive him. Not because the pain disappeared, but because she didn't want pain to define the rest of her life. Looking back, I learned something important. Sometimes people leave not because they stop loving us. Sometimes they leave because they feel they have no choice. And sometimes the story we've believed for years is only part of the truth. The truth may arrive late, 15 years late in my case. But when it finally arrives, it can open the door to healing. And sometimes, if we're lucky, it can give us something we thought was gone forever, a second chance.